Hello and welcome to Spirit Sherpa, the show that helps and encourages you on your journey to unlock your magic mojo. I'm Joshua Radewan, your co-host, here as always with Kelle Sparta, transformational shaman and spiritual coach extraordinaire.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, Kelle.
We are on our third recording of the day, so we're not going to do too much shooting the shit today, but we are going to talk about the spiritual benefits of decluttering today. So we're going to make this a nice, concise episode. And I feel uniquely suited to be able to talk about this. This again was a suggestion from our lovely listener, Elizabeth. You rock. We love you. And I feel uniquely suited to talk about this because I've given away everything I've owned three times, or gotten rid of everything I've owned 3 times in my life. We didn't give everything away on the last one. We did have an estate sale, but everything except for 6 suitcases were gone. And one of those suitcases was supplements and medications, and one of them was dog toys. We really didn't take much with us. When you're looking at your stuff, and the other reason I feel suited to this is that I've also worked with a friend of mine who was having hoarding issues and worked with him on how to adjust his energy around the hoarding. And so I want to talk about how do we deal with our clutter, right? So there are 2 different levels, right? There's the basic, we've got clutter, we've got stuff, whatever. And then there's the tendency into hoarding, right? So from an energetic perspective, when you're looking at your stuff, you imbue your stuff with the memories that are associated with the stuff, right? And when you do that, and for me, it was particularly important because as a child, we moved a lot. And so home wasn't the physical location that we occupied, but the stuff that was in the house because we were moving all the time. So the stuff represented home. So the first time I let go of my stuff, it was pretty traumatic because I was letting go of home. It was the definition of home for me. And because the move to Panama here was my 40th move, 40, my 40th move. So when I say we moved a lot, we moved a lot. And so when you are dealing with letting go of stuff, you need to recognize what it represents to you. That's the very first piece. What are you laughing about, Josh?
Oh, because you're a shit. Yes. I got a back home. I'm currently outside of my turtle shell back at the room I now stay in. I have all of the artifacts that I couldn't let go of because I spent so much money on from the metaphysical store.
Mhm.
All of my shared altar items with my former romantic partner, all of the tarot cards. And I was just starting to get rid of them before I left. So that's why I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, that hit.
Yeah, did I mention the apprentice shaman just before his final initiation will give away everything he owns? And that was the
I
thing
give
that I
away
got
a
hit with?
lot, just not the
Yeah.
shit I spent 7 to 8 grand.
Yeah. I understand. So yeah, it's when we're looking at our stuff, we need to look at what we've imbued it with, right? So for instance, my mother, and when my mom passed, one of the few things that I kept from her house was my old piano. And that piano was my best friend when I was a child. I learned to play when I was like 2 years old. And it's from the time I could reach the keys, I just kept playing. I would play for hours on end. And it's because we would move places and I wouldn't have any friends. So the piano was my friend. And so I brought it to the house, but I have tendonitis now, so I can't play very much. And so when we moved from Boston, I let go of the piano. But Kathy actually helped me. I was like, I'm having a hard time letting go of this. And she was like, just breathe all your energy back in from it. Breathe in the memories from it. Breathe in everything that you've imbued that piano with. And now you'll be able to let it go. Right. And so as we're sitting here doing our work on releasing a particular piece, we need to breathe it back in and let it come to us. Right. Allow it to bring the energy back into you so that you can release it from your life because it's holding that energy, right? Now, when you're doing something at a larger scale, some of your stuff holds stuff and holds memories, and some of it doesn't, right? Some of it's just crap you bought, right? And so I'm going to give you a little lesson from military moving. which is if you haven't worn it or used it in a year, and it's not a specialty item like skis or something that's a very specific thing that you use infrequently but is very expensive to buy, right? If you haven't used it in or you've worn it in a year, it goes, right? Because if you haven't used it in a year, you don't need it. If it didn't get unpacked since the last move, it goes because you clearly didn't miss it. And if it is a specialty item and you haven't used it in 5 years, it goes. So skis, boots, things like that. And so that's a good rule of thumb for letting go of things. Because, and let me be clear, there are keepsakes that you keep. My husband and I each have a box of keepsakes sitting at my cousin's house in Virginia, West Virginia, which we will eventually go back and get, right? But these are, they're not big boxes. They're like little boxes, right? Because there's only so much you need, right? You don't have to keep everything. If you've got kids, one card or one drawing from every year of their life is sufficient. You don't need all 50,000 of them, right? And so it's just, they're a representation of that time frame in your life is what you're looking for. Oh, my nose itches so bad today. Anyway, so the piece that you're looking for is you're looking for, how do I pull my memories back to myself, right? So we had all these photographs when we moved. I had them all scanned and we now have them on, they're digitized. And we just got rid of them. No big deal. You don't need the physical ones as long as you got the digital and you've got backups, right? It's a way to let go of stuff. How much of stuff do we need? We took pictures of stuff that we wanted to remember, but we didn't want to carry with us. It's another way to transfer the memories. When I sold real estate, I used to have a house cooling party for the sellers. And they have house warming when you move in, you have a house cooling when you move out. And I would ask them to tell me the stories in every room of the house. I would say, okay, tell me the stories of the things you remember in this room. And I would video it for them. And then I would take them to the next room and the next room and the next room. I'd be like, okay, so tell me the stories. And then we would have a party and I would have other people tell the stories of what they remembered from the house. And it would just be a way for them to carry those memories with them out of the house, because especially if you've been in a house for a very long period of time, you get very attached to it. And the memories live in the house and you need to find a way to transfer them out of the house and take them with you, or else you end up with seller's remorse. And so all of these things. And then as we get into the hoarding side of things, the thing that I worked with my friend on when I was working with him on his hoarding project, he went through a major car accident and then he lost his brother and he had a huge amount of grief, massive amount of grief. And just this sense of having been beaten up by the world, right? And so he started to just buy things. And I pointed out to him, I'm like, look, you have buffered yourself from the world by buying these things. They have served as a physical block to the energy coming into you to keep you safe. And you are now better. You have grieved his passing. You are out of the hospital and you're feeling better yourself and you're ready to get back into the world. And these items are no longer needed. And he said, but I spent all this money on them and I never used them for the thing that they were for. I'm like, you absolutely used them for the thing that they were for. You used them to buffer you. And they served their purpose. They did their job. And you don't need it anymore. It's not about what the intended use of the item was. It was what you used it for. And that's a very different thing. And that allowed him to let go of some of the shame of having made the purchases and the need to use them and all of the things that go into that, and to be able to start to let go of things as he went forward. And understanding what the energetic aspects are of the work that you're doing in the world, or not the work you're doing in the world, the understanding what the energetic aspects of the purpose for the thing that you purchased are, it's good, right? Sometimes you need to feel, so some people do shopping therapy, retail therapy, right? They're like, I'm going to buy things to make myself feel better. I need the dopamine hit. Okay. I never wore it. Yeah, but you got the dopamine hit. You got what you needed from it. Just donate it. Get rid of it. If you have more clothes in your closet than you could wear in a month, you probably have too many clothes in your closet. It's Obviously, excluding some exceptional things like fancy dresses or
That's
clothes,
kind of
suits or
funny you
whatever.
brought up the clothes thing because I sit on clothes that have rips in the jeans that got paint all over them, and it's a it's me honoring my former life a little too much. So there's an attachment to it. As you were talking, I was thinking, shit, that's some poverty consciousness shit. I'm never gonna be able to buy a pair of pants again. Nope, these ones are gonna last until there's absolutely nothing left. And it's funny when I go see my mom and she sees a hole in my sock. She's like, "Why in the fuck are you wearing that?" I was like, "I could get another 6 months out of this." She's like, "Money now." I was like, "I could get another 6 months." And it's not. And then when I can't get it anymore, it'll still sit in my drawer because I might need it one day. It's funny.
Wayne Dyer, there's a great story that Wayne Dyer told that he said that every person in his family would give him their toothpaste tubes when they were done with them because he would be able to eke out the last little bit of toothpaste and he would be able to do. We all have our picadillos. I love that story. I still remember that story. And this is the thing, right? I literally just found underwear again because I've been living in Panama for 3 years, right? I literally just found some underwear that works for me. And I bought 9 or 10 pairs, something like that. And now I'm slowly throwing away the ones that are really threadbare and are really that we've stitched shut multiple times. Got the stuff because I couldn't find any here. Okay. It wasn't that I didn't have money to buy them. I couldn't find them. But I'm still finding myself going, oh, but this was still fine. And I'm having to go, no, if it's got any threads hanging off of it, if it's been stitched before, it's going away because I have more now. And we get into these habits, right? Where we have that. And I remember years where I was bone poor, right? I was just like, I was making like $11,000 according to the IRS. Like, and when I would get money, the first thing I would do is buy bras and underwear. Because of that. And that becomes this habit, right? And we get into this space of going, oh, whatever. And so when you have things, sometimes the consciousness piece goes into that too, right? Because that's a poverty consciousness thing is I have to keep it. I have to keep it because I might need it. And so for me, I keep one batch of really crappy clothes because I want to paint or do construction projects or whatever. And I want something I don't care if I destroy it, right? And so I keep one piece, one clothing outfit that I can destroy, right? And that's it. And then you let go of everything else, right? So that's the idea. And when you are going through your stuff and you're letting go of things, you're really letting go of what's holding you down. The one thing, I talk to a lot of people who moved to Panama, and a lot of people, they're all getting rid of all their stuff or a lot of their stuff. And the one thing they say is they feel lighter when they do it. They're like, oh, I had a boyfriend once who used to say ownership is bidirectional, which is, what you own owns you because now you're responsible for it. So everything you own comes with a responsibility to take care of it. So just before we got onto the podcasting today, or while we were podcasting, my dog chopped up my plastic glasses. And these were my readers, and they're the only set of readers I own. So I'm like,
Now we know the reason why for this very moment, the interconnectedness of all things.
there we go.
Another shamanic lesson taught by Kelle in the
In the
externalization
moment.
of a physical world.
Yeah. Don't worry, this is not glass, this is plastic. Yeah. Anyway,
And for the record, I just want to say that she was very worried and concerned about the dog and chased her around trying to find all of the pieces in between podcasts. If you're listening, PETA, know that we care deeply for animals around here.
but these are things that happen, right? We get upset if we're attached to them, right? But when you let go of what you have the ability to make space for new things to come in. And those things can bring you up. So one of the things that I'm dealing with in my house right now is that I don't have a washing machine or dryer that will fit my king size comforter. And it is needing washing. And I had a friend who offered to let me do it a month and a half ago, and she still hasn't said yes to every time I've asked. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to start asking another friend because I can't go to the laundromat because they use scented products and I can't use scented products. So There's a whole thing. And I'm just like, you know what? If I can't get anybody to let me use their washing machine, I'm just going to buy a new comforter. I'm just going to call it good. If I can't get it washed, I will take it to the laundry and then I will take it to the donation because I can't have it once it's gone through the laundry with the scented stuff. That's the sort of thing is you don't attach to your stuff because your stuff doesn't matter. And my husband's a Taurus. He is such a nester. He loves to nest and take care of things and make sure everything is just when he loves his things. And when we were getting ready to move, I was really worried about him because he did not let go of things well. And he hit a point in the move where he was just like, you know what? None of this matters. And he just let it all go. And because we were negotiating up until then. I'm like, okay, we've got 6 suitcases. What are we going to put in them? And he was like, this and this. And we had a pile on a bed, on a guest bed, that was just the things that we were going to pack. And that pile was huge. And over time, it just dwindled. He was like, I can let go of that. I can let go of that. We had several months to sit with this. And I didn't push. I let him decide what he could let go of and what he couldn't, and we would figure it out. And it came down to it, and I would have moved with nothing personally. I think I had a couple of tarot decks that I didn't want to part with, but that was it. And but I needed clothes to wear until I could find something to buy, which thank God I did because I wore that one week's worth of clothing for 6 months, right? Because I couldn't find any clothes that fit me here. So that was its own entertainment, but I could have ordered some from Amazon, but I wanted to find them locally, trying to lower my carbon footprint. This is the thing is that the more you let go of, because the first time I did this, I was moving with my soon to be first husband, and I could only bring what I could fit in his barracks because we weren't married yet, so they wouldn't move me. And so that was when I had the, oh shit, home is gone piece. And then the second time was when I went on walkabout and I gave away everything out of my storage unit. And then if it didn't fit in my car, it didn't come with. And the third time was coming here. And the first one was 10 years apart. And the second one was 20 years apart. And then the interim, oh my God, we've got so much crap now. So much stuff because you buy it when you need it and then you're like, I've got a whole house full of stuff again, and I'm already frustrated that there's stuff in the rental unit that was furnished that is not the furniture I would have chosen. And so we're slowly pulling things out of the rental unit that was the furnishings that the landlord gave us and storing them in her property so that we can replace it with things we want and upgrading things along the way and things like that. I've got a new table that doesn't wobble because I found a table I like for podcasting. Up until then, it was a folding table and it wobbled. So every time I moved, it moved. And I was like, So if you guys have seen the screen go bubble, it was because I was in a folding table. So time goes on, things happen, you pick up stuff along the way. But the decluttering piece, and I still do that now, right? So we bought stuff and then I get rid of stuff. Clothing is in particular. I'll buy stuff at the store. I'll try to wear it and I'll be like, that doesn't fit. Or I washed it once and it shrunk. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to fit anymore. It gets into the donate pot. I donate clothes like every 2-3 months because I'm like, I'm not finding that I wear this. If I don't wear it, I'm not going to keep it, that sort of thing.
I hope you're pulling the energy out of those clothes because holy shit. You're just do that sly wink at me.
I wash them.
Okay, we're just kidding.
Anyway.
We joke, we jest.
We jest. Yeah. So decluttering isn't just about your physical space, but I do want to talk about how it impacts your physical space too, right? Because in your physical space, energy moves through that space. If there is a lot of clutter, the energy does not move, it stagnates. And so you really do want to keep your space clear because otherwise the energy stagnates and then you live in that stagnation and go figure you get stuck, right? So
I was doing shadow work from that room where all of my shit was for 2 months. And I was like, why can't I move from this room? Why is it just me and my many journals of growth here?
These are the things that you have to pay attention to is that the energy needs to move in your space. And your closets are a classic example of places where energy stagnates, especially if you've got a lot of crap in them, right? So at least every 6 months, you want to drag all the crap out of your closet that is overblown. If the closet is not neatly organized, you want to pull that out and redo it so that you can get the energy that's stuck in those closets decluttered
It's
and
so
move it.
funny. My mom is a master of this. Like she is. Like I watch her, and it wasn't until recently when my phone got to a point where it was like you're reached 100% capacity. I was like, it's interesting because at the same time I'm doing lessons about coming back to the 0 point, and my phone's hi, I'm completely full of shit too. Like, maybe we should release that. Like, I watch my mom, right? And she does all of these things, and she's always so meticulous about how important it is to get rid of things and shift energy and move furniture around.
That
And,
was going to be my
like
next
she
thing is
does
moving
all
the
of this
furniture.
very like she doesn't, maybe she does. I don't know. She just gets up one day and she starts moving everything around. Like, particular, I watch her with her phone. I'm like, don't you have that message I sent you a week ago? She's like, no, I don't keep any of those. And I'm just like, huh. Like, no emails, no messenger messages, no, there's nothing. Like, her phone is always at 0 point. And I'm like, and as you were talking, I had that visual. I was like, oh, that's for a much deeper reason. And I think I noticed because there's also the mental clarity part, like you were talking about. When I am in a room full of stuff, it doesn't feel like home either.
Yeah.
It feels like you what you're talking about with your friend. There's like a barrier between me and the world. It's like a safety barracks.
Yes. Yeah. We entertain here at the house probably every month or two. And every time we have someone over, if we're entertaining, we're having a party, we rearrange all the furniture because we're arranging for a lot of people to be in the space that's usually a smaller space for people, for two people, right? And that always breaks up the energy, right? Always resets the energy. It's, oh, that's there. And then we have all our friends over. We have great energy from our friends being in the space. And then we reset the room back to where it was. But it's reset, right? It shifts the energy. It breaks up the structures. And that's a big factor. When we have people come to stay, our guest room is my podcasting room. And so when we have people come to stay, all the podcasting equipment goes out of the room and to make space for them to come in with their bags and whatever. And a lot of the stuff that normally sits around here gets moved. And that clears things out.
It's funny, I was cleaning my car out yesterday from Walkabout because I'm sure that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
holy shit, because that pile up quick. I'm like, because you're going places, you're eating on the road, you're drinking on the road, like it's your office on the road, it is everything. It's your personal wardrobe. So I dirty clothes in the back, and now I've got a little spot for those. I got my drum like in where it's in the sun, so like when I pull it out, I can actually go right to playing it. And but I noticed there was a buildup of dirt and everything also. And I'm like, it's time to love on you a little bit. Like, you've been so kind to me. And clearing up that space always makes me feel better because it's also showing me that, okay, you're moving a lot of shit around. Let's compartmentalize it a little bit better and you'll find a little bit more clarity. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is definitely one of those things. Is there something wrong?
My battery on my computer is about to die.
Okay, then we'll call this good. We're getting wrapped up.
This is life on the road.
Life on the road, baby. All right. Thank you all for listening. Please remember to subscribe and share. And don't forget that what you focus on expands. What you intend is what you create. So choose wisely.